Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of MXDTV. Tonight is Thursday, December 15th, and it's episode 32 tonight. So, MXDTV, episode 32. I'm your host, Marc Delgado. I am tonight is a momentous MXD TV episode. Tonight is the very first episode of MXD TV in which I will not be wearing a hat. So I'm going with no hat tonight, and I found a new hair product, so I thought I would try that out tonight, and we'll go hatless, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping everything is on the up and up. We are experiencing a snowstorm over here, so we could lose power at any moment, I suppose, but hopefully we won't. I haven't heard from my executive producer, so I'm assuming everything is okay. Let's see. So yeah, without further ado, we'll just get right into it. I have some cool stuff planned for this evening. I've got some songs and some poems. Let's see. Oh yeah, sounds great. Ha, sorry, my executive producer says. Well, you know, that's what happens when you don't pay the help. That's what happens. So I'm going to go without a hat tonight. We're going to play some songs. We're going to read some poems. I got some stuff planned. And I got a bit of a theme going on. So, yeah, it's kind of a new configuration. So let me know if there's any technical difficulties or if you're having trouble hearing me. I think it's okay. My tendency is to want it to be louder in my headphones, but, one of these days I'll just do it without headphones. I feel like maybe I don't need to do it, but I like to be able to hear my voice in the radio voice a little bit, so that's why I do it. I see now there's some people on, so great. Thanks for joining us. A quick recap. No hat tonight for the first time in 32 episodes. 32nd episode. Sounds great, Papa. So Melanie calls me Papa, and she called me that long before we had a child, which was, I thought it was kind of hot at first. So I still think it's pretty hot, actually. But if you guys think it's weird, well, that's just, we've been doing that for a long time. All right, let's get right to it. I'm going to play a song, and this is going to get us into things, and we'll take it from there. Got this new setup, and I like it. I think it looks cool. It's a little cramped, so like getting it. You were right earlier, Melanie, by the way. I did have it wrong. I fixed it. We've got some of Melanie's paintings behind me, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we've got this one here. I wrote them down, and now I can't find it. God damn it. Let's see. Where did I do it? Oh, there they are. Okay, we'll get to that. I'm going to play a song. So this is a song I've played before, but this is off of my first record I ever made. I've only made 2 records. But this is off of the first one I ever made with my great friends from Fresno, California, Victor Sotelo, who co-produced it, and Peter Wolf, who engineered and co-produced it, played drums on it. Victor played guitar and bass and sang and helped me write it, as did Peter Wolf and my great friend Tom Medrano. This is a song, this was the penultimate song on the record. It's called The Boats in San Pedro Harbor. burning fever's gone, the heat waves and the freight trains, and time and space. It turns and it teeters on, and the wheel takes a slightly different turn away. Hey, what's that speed she's traveling on? What's that sound that keeps her hanging all along by the freeways? What's that speed she's traveling on? And what's that sound that keeps her hanging all along by the freeways and the freight train? Stayed too long, stayed too long, stayed too long. Wow, okay. Oh, look. My good friend Shelly Hessen is here. Yeah, man. Melanie got me this shirt. She just saw. I'm so glad you said that, Shelly. Of course you would say it too. My pal Joe is here. Sounds good. Thanks, Joe. Joe from Long Island. Great musician. Check out Joe's Instagram page, man. Post your link on here, Joe. He posts a new song every day. It's amazing. Thank you, Shelly. Shelly, so I knew Melanie gave us all right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for saying stuff. Yeah, Melanie got me this. This shirt. She went to Terminal 5 a couple weeks ago to see, get this, Guided by Voices and Dinosaur Jr. She's brave and she rocks. And she showed me some clips. Melanie's favorite band is Dinosaur Jr. of all time. One of my favorite bands of all time is Guided by Voices. So I asked her to get me a Guided by Voices t-shirt, and she did. So nice. Thank you, Shelly, for noticing. And yes, I knew I was going to, I know, ask Melanie about it. She'll tell you all about it. She got rocked in a very particular way and perfect for somebody who just turned, or won't say, we are aging, but she went to a full-on rock show, and I'm so proud of her. Yeah, so I got my Guided by Voices shirt from Melanie, who bought it for me. Well, one of these nights we'll do like a Guided by Voices night or something. I'll play a bunch of Guided by Voices. I used to know a bunch. I don't know if I can remember them, but anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's a pleasure to be here again. If we lose power, so be it. We've got a snowstorm going on outside, but I don't think we will. So that's a song called The Boats in San Pedro Harbor, and it's interesting. While I was playing it, a lot was going on. I kind of zoned out there while I was playing it, and it was really wild. There was like all these things I was thinking I wanted to say, and But the main thing about that song that's really important, I think, that song was off of, like I said, the first record I ever made, and it was that song. I kind of had this idea of the way I wanted the picking to go on that song, and but it wasn't fully written. And I sat in the studio with Peter Wolf. It was just he and I, and maybe Victor was there for the recording of the guitar. I can't remember, but I didn't have it all completely worked out. But he pressed play. Oh, there we go. Shelley, it was great. So loud. Took my brother for his birthday. Yes. So super cool. Can't stress either one. We were just talking about those two bands again today, and how, like, for pure rock and roll purposes, musical purposes, there's no two better bands probably in the world. But and they've been doing it for so long. But so anyway, as I was saying, I kind of wrote the picking pattern for that song. I wrote the music for that kind of as we were recording it, and then I had some words, but I didn't have all the words written either. And it was Peter who suggested that because I think initially it was I'm miles away or something, and it was Peter who suggested I say she's miles away, so then it was as if I was speaking to somebody who was still back in Fresno, and then it really took on a whole new meaning. And the reason I wanted to start the show with that song is I visited a friend. I visited a friend in Atlanta last weekend, and that's why we didn't have a show. And he's an old friend of mine. And what was interesting was seeing an old friend and feeling somebody who I'm very comfortable with and who I love very much and who I have a lot of history with, but seeing him as a mirror and feeling myself as a different person, and feeling the changes in me. And it was really kind of profound, and it felt really great, I have to be honest, because I've come quite a long way in my evolution as a human being, to say the least. And he'd be the first one to tell you that. But so Melanie I thought I'd read these two poems, and Melanie found these in her studio. And these were poems I wrote around the time of that first record. And this one is short and sweet, but it was, I believe I had it on the inside sleeve of the record, which was called High in a Neon Dive. And the name was taken from a motel, I think it was called the Fresno Hotel, and it had a diver. She was it was an old sign, a neon sign, and it was a woman in a diving cap, and she was diving. So High in a Neon Dive. But this particular poem, I called it All That Occurs in Occupied Rooms. I know she's trapped here by fate, jackknifed above clapboard, white space, high in a neon dive. The Hotel Fresno along Route 99, between Storyland and Parkway Inn. Lurid causeway where nothing begins over and over again. Clandestine meetings of the nevermind. Magazines lie open. The television blares, passionless. Against dark, a lighter flares, a tiny beacon from the lost island of the bed. I'm glad she found these, because that one I really kind of still like. But I'm going to read this other one, and it's interesting because I'm not quite sure what this one's even about, and I think that's what I'm getting at here is I don't really remember. I know who I was to a certain degree, but there's a lot I don't now remember about who I was, and maybe that's okay. The title of this poem is called, In the Teeth of the World. And I believe I stole that from a William Carlos Williams book called In the American Grain. And I was trying to find it, but I couldn't. So that's, I didn't come up with that phrase. It's stolen from William Carlos Williams. But this one's called In the Teeth of the World. A car is stalled on the shoulder of the wide road. Oil spits from the engine's lungs into a pool of inverted sky where gravel and wrappers form Pegasus. The day's face gone black and starry. In this makeshift inspiration are pelvic thrusts of ambition, the need for control. A terrorist in Union City dropping dust in the mail. A body of work that consists of found parts thrown to the scrap heap, miscellaneous vertebra blown from the backs of would-be mechanics, hacked at the knees. In them I see the hip of Virgo, the thin viperous tongue of Eve, the twin hemispheres of infinite possibility, the towers, the faiths, the vertiginous machine. I am a thief in the teeth of the world. I am a nail in the feet of belief. A plane screams into cataclysmic view. Then, like a pulse, another, rhythmic cranes, majestic and soaring above the whisper of the interstate. I have no idea what that poem's about, other than I was obviously affected by the terror attacks that were happening around that time. But there's a lot I have no idea what it even means, and that's kind of interesting in a way. All right, I'm going to play a couple more songs for you now. Oh, the other thing... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play. I've already talked too much, I think. Oh, I know what we'll do. Let's see. I just wanted to tell you the names of these paintings behind me. So, this one is called... I really wanted to... It's called Light Bulbs and Ant Traps. This one here. And then this one is called Ghost on Ghost. And this one is my current favorite paintings of Melanie's. It's called Fantastic Destination. I hope I got that right. Melanie, correct me if I didn't. But I think they're wonderful. I'm still Melanie's biggest fan of. I love her paintings. I think they're pretty good. Let's see. I got to get the configuration right here. Oh no! I almost wiped out. Okay. So these are more. I'm going to play a few more songs from High on a Neon Dive, and then we'll move. Then we'll fast forward to some new stuff, to a new song, and some stuff from Wildwood Road. Perfect. Okay, nailed it. So this is a song called Asleep in a Cave. This is the other one that I think really like this one and Boats in San Pedro Harbor. There were the two. It was like, oh, maybe I can do this, or at least maybe do it the way I want to. Sleep in a cave, I've been here for days. Don't know which song to sing or how to set you free. Sleep in a cave, I've been here for days. Don't know which song to sing or how to set you free. From the nightmare's child, from the high wire wires that you climb, and the way that you scared me the most was when you smiled. and she sang the same thing to me. No matter how hard she tried to save this symphony, and she played a silent reverie. Each and every time you tried to rescue me. From the nightmare's child, the high wires that we climb, and the way that you scared me the most was when you smiled. Now I know it's time to quit this ruined verse that we rehearsed and we tried to make it rhyme. We never made it rhyme. Oh, hey, Thomas is here. Thomas Appleby. I was just thinking, I thought I saw your name, Thomas, and I was thinking this was the first song I played at that show the first time we played together. That's right. Hey, man. This is a good buddy of mine from New York City, Mr. Appleby. Family man, great musician, hell of a nice guy. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Great to see you. It is, I was thinking that because I thought I saw your name, and I was thinking that too. I wake up and I flip through the dream songs, and Henry drinks from a bottle that he can't name and he can't swallow. I face up to a new tomorrow, and Henry crosses a bridge that he can't name and I can't follow, no, no. No women, no phones, Mr. Bones. No women, no phones, Mr. Bones. Hard on the land now is the sea, and empties the beds and eyes. You can try to slip your wrists, but your hands are tied. I face up and I flip through the dream songs, and Henry, he jumps from a bridge that he can't name and I can't follow, no, no. No women, no phones, Mr. Bones. No women, no phones, Mr. Bones. life, friends, is boring. We must not say so. After all the sky flashes and the great sea yearns, and we ourselves, we flash and we yearn. Moreover, my mother told me as a boy, ever to confess you're bored means you have no inner resources. Well, I confess now, ladies and gentlemen, I have no inner resources, 'cause I am heavy bored. People bore me. Literature bores me, especially great literature. And Henry bores me with his plights and gripes, as bad as Achilles, who loves people and valiant art, which bores me. Tranquil hills and gin look like a drag. And somehow a dog has taken himself and his tail considerably away into mountains and sea and sky, leaving behind me and eyes. You can try to slip your wrists, but your hands are tied. Your hands are tied. Your hands are tied. That's a song called Life, Friends is Boring, taken from that was a fantastic meeting that night, Thomas. That song's called Life, Friends is Boring. I believe it's taken from one of the hey, Henry Contreras is here. What up, Henry? Thanks for coming, man. It's one of my guys from Fresno. What's up, man? How are you? Henry's an amazing artist and all a killer writer and a beautiful artist and all around great guy. Oh, hey, Henry, thanks for tuning in, man. That song's called "The Boats and Life, Friends is Boring," based on a John Berryman poem, and the character Henry that I'm referring to is somebody that he used in his poems. He had a character named Henry, and a lot of people thought it was a lot of people thought it was biographical, and I believe it was, although he would have told you it wasn't. I think it was, and John Berryman jumped off a bridge, couldn't stop drinking, and that song was instrumental in that record too, because it was really me trying to get sober when I was writing that record, and I was talking about, the process of moving away from that life and never really thinking I could, and it's just not so today. I mean, all of that's part of who I am. It's a huge part of my personality and like everything I write about. But it's just not something that plays into my life anymore. I'm not interested in it. I never think about it other than in terms of writing about what it was like. I'm late. No, I didn't do Christmas in prison yet. I might not even do it. I might do it later, but I could if the crowd insists. I'm taking requests. Sure, that would be great. No, I haven't done it yet, Russ. I've played all kinds of stuff you've heard a million times. So thanks for tuning in. That's my great friend Russ Little in San Diego. So I'd like to read some poems now from a guy named Greg Pape. Uh, from this book, Black Branches. This is an interesting story. My friend, another friend of mine, the great Jay Fung, gave me this book and a bunch of books. He gave me a bunch of books of poetry last time I saw him. And I'd never heard of Greg Pape. And I started reading it. I picked it up and started reading it, and I loved them right away. And I sent Jay a message saying, "Man, I love Greg Pape. He's cool. I've never heard of him before." And he tells me, "Oh, he went to Fresno State." So you can't get away from the Fresno poets. Although he was born, I believe, in Eureka, California, and he writes a lot about other places, which is really great. I mean, I didn't know he had studied in Fresno, but I'm going to read a few of his poems. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Looks like we got quite a few folks here tonight, so thank you for joining us on MXDTV. It's always a goddamn pleasure whenever somebody shows up. Yes, Henry, I have heard the new Wilco. It's fantastic. In fact, I could have worn my Wilco shirt. Melanie and I and Jay Fung saw them in Cooperstown on their recent tour, and they played a bunch of songs off of it, and it was killer. Super cool. Yep. See, we saw them this summer. Yeah, it was awesome, dude. So badass. And I wanted to mention this, since we're talking great music. We talked about Guided by Voices. Henry, I know you're a Guided by Voices guy. Cruel Country is a great record, but the record I can't stop listening to right now is a record by a band called the Felice Brothers, and it's called From Dreams to Dust. It's their newest record, and you can ask Melanie. I've been listening to it nonstop, and it's really great, man. It's a great record. Melanie, if you are agile enough to post a link to their new record on Spotify or something, that would be great. If not, it's okay. But their new record is called From Dreams to Dust. Yeah, check it out, dude. It's so good. So good. All right, I'm going to read these poems. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, you guys are all here. So cool. Okay, this first poem is called Triggerfish, and if I don't mess up the reading, it's got this great ending, and I've read this ending like 20 times. That's really cool. Let's see, Shelley's here. Oh, you saw the Felice Brothers? Oh man, their new record is so fucking badass. I love it. It makes me embarrassed to play any of my songs, to be honest with you. They're so good. Here we go. Melanie's on it. There's a Apple Music link. Great record, From Dreams to Dust. It's just phenomenal. The songwriting is out of sight and makes me embarrassed to play my stuff. Okay, this poem's called The Triggerfish. Leaves of mangroves rattle in the breeze. A gray rowboat knocks against pilings at the end of the dock, and the years hold still around this moment. Boat, water, and sky are all the same color. A boy kneels on the whitewashed boards of the dock and stares at the dull gray water, waiting for something beautiful or monstrous to come up to him from below. He has heard the stories of devilfish, seen the silver tarpon tail walk on the water in moonlight. He is patient, a watcher held in a physics he is yet to understand. Above him a great ledge of cloud moves in from the gulf, hauling thunder and a slanting curtain of gray rain. Below are the clouded rooms of redfish, snook, shark, and manatee. He is beginning to live in those rooms above and below, opening within him. And as the brilliant, slow-finned triggerfish drifts up out of the gray water of the sound and mouths a circle on the undersurface of water, a fish of equal color rises in the buoy and goes down to meet the other. Oh man, I love that. I love that. I love that. There's so many great bits of that one. That end is I love. And as the brilliant, slow-finned triggerfish drifts up out of the gray water of the sound and mouths a circle on the undersurface of water, a fish of equal color rises in the buoy and goes down to meet the other. Darn it. Here's one called Flamingos. I imagine them now as they are sometimes seen in great flocks flying over the Andes, a sacred movement of birds and light. On Sundays like this, I have glided around that point of shaggy mangroves off the west coast of Florida in a canoe as the sun slipped into the Gulf and spread out its silks on the water behind me. A small boy, astonished at the world and his own mind, a few big hushed moments in a bad year, 1956. I like to say I was born in 1947, just outside the city of Eureka, California, because it's true and has a good sound. I was born again to the strange loveliness of this earth on that Sunday, gliding on the waters of Pine Island Sound, around the point through the secret opening in the mangroves into Addison's lagoon. My stepfather in the bow held his finger to his lips, then pointed toward the far shore. I held my breath and listened. At first I didn't see them, just a rose glow on the water, some part of the sunset broken off and left behind. But as we drifted quietly closer, I was filled with a single word: flamingos. Though I was wrong and was told in a whisper, spoonbills. Now I see them preening, dipping their odd bills into the water, swaying in a kind of unison on long, thin legs. Startled at the wrong word, they stiffen, bow to the water, and lift in a great shock of pink feathers, flaming into the air. And I trail after them, all my senses, stunned by the power of a word, as they fly away toward the west, growing small and dark on the evening sky. I love this because, you know, he's got the Fresno vibe, but he writes about different things, and you know, it's a different feeling. But you know, he says this. I like to say I was born in 1947, just outside the city of Eureka, California, because it's true and has a good sound. And I like that about my own story, talking about Fresno all the time and those things. But then he goes on to say this: I was born again to the strange loveliness of this earth. I was born again to the strange loveliness of this earth on that Sunday, gliding on the waters of Pine Island Sound, around the point, through the secret opening in the mangroves into Addison's lagoon. I love that because I just feel like, you know, if you stick around, if you're lucky enough to stick around, and you're lucky enough to keep wanting to change and to keep trying to change, even if you've made, you know, a mountain of mistakes, like, say, me, for instance. But if you're willing to stick around and give it another shot, you're born again and again, you know, not really in a Christian way, although I do like that. I do like that thought of being born again and again, even in a Christian way, even though I don't necessarily subscribe to it. But I now say, you know, I've lived so many lives, so many, and I'm tied to who I was and to who I've been, and that person is still there. And I felt that in being with an old friend, you know. But I've also changed so much, and sometimes I forget, and it kind of took going on a little solitary trip and being by myself for a little bit away from my family, and then being around some old friends to make me realize that I've been born again and again, you know, and I keep changing in a good way, I hope, although I still drink too much coffee. I'm going to play you a new song. I've played it before, but I'm going to give it another shot. I think we're going to be releasing it soon as a single. It's coming out quite good. Justin, in fact, just sent me a mix of it. I'll listen to it when I'm done here. And I have somebody working on a video for this song. It's going to be a special thing. I think you'll dig it. But I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try to play it. I'm a little tangled up here. Hold on. I'm playing the Hummingbird tonight, Russ Little. Russ Little gave me this guitar. It's a bigger guitar than the other one I normally play, so I'm challenged. I'm spatially challenged here, but man, I think this guitar for the live stream in particular sounds the best for some reason. This is a 1969 Gibson Hummingbird, and my friend Russ Little gave it to me. What do you think of that? Yes, sir. The great Scott Oliver is here. Everybody's hero. Scott Oliver is with us today. Hey, man. Thanks for tuning in. Now I'm nervous. I'll try not to botch this song, Scott. Yes, Shelly. I love this guitar, and yes, he's a great friend. Not only did he give me this guitar, he saved my Martin D28. He got that out of hock for me on the final moment. I had hawked my D28, my Martin D28, because I was a drug addict, and I needed the money to get high, and I hawked my D28, and then I was trying to get sober, and I had lost the D28 I thought to hawk, and I told Russ Little, I go, I'm okay with it. I've made my peace. I'm going to lose the guitar. The time was running out, and he said, I'm not going to let them have that guitar, and he came and picked me up. He took time off of work. He came and picked me up, took me to the pawn shop, and got my guitar out of hock. So not only did he give me this guitar, but he saved one of my other main guitars, and he was my lifeline when I had no human contact. He used to leave notes on my car when I wouldn't answer the door. Yeah, and remember you gave me the Fionn Regan record? Good friend, man. I got a lot of good friends. I'm lucky. I think that's one of the other themes of this show. This is a song I wrote for Melanie, and we'll be releasing it soon. It's almost done. It's kind of a hard song to play. I'm gonna give it a try. If you want, skip the long, drawn out explanation, please. Your time in France, with all the beggars and the tramps, it's not as interesting as you might think. 'Cause I know you see yourself in me. I know you see yourself in me. What's the chance of shaking hands? You arrived among the isles of spirit so unexpectedly, and I just emerged off from beneath the earth, a prisoner finally tunneled free. 'Cause I know you see yourself in me. I know you see yourself in me. What space we can't defend. Oh, what's the use of trembling hands across the space we can't defend? No. Oh, you're my twin, you know, I can't deny. Here's a guess about the rest. We'll light the fires on the shore of Lake Marie, and I'll take an oar and leave the shore further out into uncertainty. 'Cause I know you see yourself in me. 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 I'm your twin, you know. 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 I was thinking of something. While I was... Hey, thanks, Henry. I'm always kind of nervous to play that one. Thank you. I love it, but it's kind of a tough one to get my hands around and to sing it. Singing is not my first... nobody told me that I would have to learn how to sing in tune when I started doing this. But it's just how it goes, I guess. You gotta just learn on the fly. Thanks, Henry. I was thinking of something while I was playing that I wanted to say, and now I can't remember what it is. I think it was I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna play you this other song. This is how are we doing on time? Oh, goodness. Time flies even when you're not having fun. I'm going to play you this. Maybe I won't play this other song. Let's see. There's Scott Oliver. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Scott. Wait till you hear the recorded version. It's much better. Because I did... Thanks, dude. We actually recorded the guitar. Of course, I did the guitar separate and then sang it. And then we actually recorded the guitar through this old... we did a casino through a Silvertone amp. We did that part, and then there's all these other cool parts, but it sounds really cool. And Justin sings with me, which always makes me sound better. And he did this amazing drum bit, and it's a very Peter Gabriel vibe. I'll just say it. When you hear it, you'll... Maybe I won't play this other song, and we'll just move right along. I was going to play this Mr. Sorrow, but I don't see how it fits, really. I'm going to skip it. And I'm going to read you something else before we go, because I'm trying to stick closer to an hour, because there's quite a few people have tuned in, and I'm really pleased that you're here, and I don't want to overstay my welcome. I'm reading this great book. It's called Snow Crash. Have you ever read this book? It's It's by a guy named Neal Stephenson, and it was written in what's crazy about this book is it was written in the 90s, and it was written in 92, and he kind of predicts like what's happening now with the internet and with the social media and the way we live our lives, which is virtual. It's really beautiful. It's funny and wild. It reminds me of the William Gibson novels, like The Neuromancer and stuff. But I just wanted to read. Maybe this is not even. I'll just read this. They're telling me I'm getting a message from the school that tomorrow's school is going to be canceled. We're in the middle of a snowstorm here. Okay, I'm just going to read this. The main character in this book, the protagonist, is named Hero Protagonist, Hiro Protagonist, and there's a woman in. Anyway, I'll just read it. So the first time Hiro saw Juanita, or any other girl like her, his perspectives were bent all out of shape. She had long, glossy black hair that had never been subjected to any chemical process other than regular shampooing. She didn't wear blue stuff on her eyelids. Her clothing was dark, tailored, restrained, and she didn't take shit from anyone, not even her professors, which seemed shrewish and threatening to him at the time. When he saw her again, after an absence of several years, a period spent mostly in Japan, working among real grown-ups from a higher social class than he was used to, people of substance who wore real clothes and did real things with their lives, he was startled to realize that Juanita was an elegant, stylish knockout. He thought at first that she had undergone some kind of radical changes since their first year in college. But then he went back to visit his father in one of those army towns and ran into the high school prom queen. She had grown up shockingly fast into an overweight dame with loud hair and loud clothes who speed read the tabloids at the checkout line in the commissary because she didn't have the spare money to buy them, who popped her gum and had 2 kids that she didn't have the energy or the foresight to discipline. Seeing this woman at the commissary, he finally went through a belated, dim-witted epiphany. Not a brilliant light shining down from heaven, more like the brown glimmer of a half-dead flashlight from the top of a stepladder. Juanita hadn't really changed much at all since those days, just grown into herself. It was he who had changed, radically. That's why I wanted to read that. I couldn't remember why I wanted to read that, but yeah. It's funny how I don't even know what to say. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a great book, and it's really brilliant, and it's funny. And it took about 100 pages, and then it really started to take off for me because, like William Gibson's books, or like Clockwork Orange, or like Irvin Welsh's books, like Trainspotting. It's almost like there's a new language being used half of the time, and it takes a little while to get the gist. I'm gonna play a couple tunes and read a poem, and then we're gonna call it a night. I know what I wanted to play. I was gonna play Mr. Sorrow Strikes Again, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna play. Almost did it again. I'm gonna play these 2 songs. So I started the show with the end of the first record, which was a song called "The Boats in San Pedro Harbor." The Boats in San Pedro Harbor, and it's kind of a melancholy, introspective tune. It's kind of sad, wistful, and that was how the first record ended. And the second record, Wildwood Road, ends with this record. That was co-written with Mary Scout, and it's about being still alive, and a family man, and a husband, and a father, and having these people in my life, and feeling pretty lucky. When I use my eyes, when I use my eyes, I can see the sunrise, I can see the sunrise. Here we are. When I wave goodbye, when I wave goodbye, I hope that you will be there, hope that you will be there when I come back home. Here we lucky that we came this far. When I wave goodbye, when I wave goodbye, hope that you will be there, hope that you will be there when I come back home. Here we are, lucky that we came this far. Wildwood Road, Wildwood Road, Wildwood You must leave now, take what you need, you think will last. It's whatever you wish to keep, better grab it fast. Yonder stands your orphan with his gun, crying like a fire in the sun. Look out, the saints are coming through. It's all over now, baby blue. The highway is for gamblers, you better use your sense. Take what you've gathered from coincidence. The empty-handed painter from your street, drawing crazy patterns on your sheets. The sky too is folding over you. It's all over now, baby And all you seasick sailors, they're all going home. And all your reindeer armies, they're all going home. The lover who has just walked out your door, she's taken all the blankets from the floor. Carpet too is moving under you. It's all over now, baby blue. Leave your stepping stones behind, 'cause something calls for you. And forget the debt that you left, 'cause they will not follow you. The vagabond is rapping at your door. He's standing there in all those clothes that you once wore. So strike another match, go start anew. It's all over now, baby blue. It's all over now, baby blue. It's all over now, baby blue. That was the last song I played in San Diego at the CD release party of High and Neon Dive, I think. Let's see. Thanks, Russ, man. I love you, man. Oh, right on, Henry. It's so cool to have you here tonight, man. What a great addition to the show to have some old friends from the hood. I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. That's a good spot to end. I was going to read this other poem, but I feel like that's where we end it tonight. So, I feel like my hair did okay for the first tonight without a hat. It kind of changed over the course of the night there, but that's okay. I'm glad I didn't wear a hat. I'm tired of wearing that hat all the time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to MXDTV. That was episode 32. Stay alive. Stay alive and keep changing. That's the... right? Puto Fresno. Right on. Shelly, thanks for tuning in. It's so cool. Joe, thanks for always being there, man. Everybody, thank you for your support and for making this so much fun. I didn't think I'd enjoy it like I do, and it's turned out to be a really fun thing. So thank you, everybody. Stay alive, keep changing. Love you. See you next time. Have a great night. Oh, Thomas too. Thank you, brother. So great. Take care, Henry. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night.